Hello, today I'm going to be talking about my top 3 TV shows in no particular order. Feel free to comment spoilers, but don't worry, I won't spoil anything major in this video. However, there will be minor spoilers. Also, at the end of the video, I'll be ranking my top 10 TV shows, but I won't talk about them. There are only 3 shows in particular that I do want to talk about, so without further ado, let's begin. Please watch Life on Mars. It's a crime drama set in 1973, and there's so much to love. Firstly, let's talk about the characters. Sam Tyler is a DCI back in 2006, however, after getting hit by a car, he wakes up in 1973 as a DC. This sets up the great dynamic Sam has with Gene Hunt. The Gene Genie is a DCI back in 1973, which leads to some hilarious and interesting juxtaposition between the two times. Getting to see how the different times deal with crime is very interesting. Sam Tyler playing by the rules, and Gene bending them slightly. It also is such a fun time watching them interact. In the beginning, it's a love-hate relationship. Whilst they both want the same outcome, they still end up bickering, and it's always a blast to watch. It's especially funny when they start throwing insults at each other. It's brilliant. They do end up trusting each other and becoming really good friends in the end though. It's not just these two who have an interesting relationship, but also Sam and every other character. For example, Sam and Chris, they have a mentor/mentoree relationship. Whilst Chris may not be the brightest, he always tries his best to be like Sam. Sam mentors him throughout the series with his methods from 2006, leading to some remarkable character development. Also Sam and Annie. This relationship is phenomenal because of how honest they are with each other. It's Annie trying to help Sam as she knows he thinks he's from 2006. I could go on, but you get the idea. Every character is well written and has a purpose on this wonderful series. But this is where the praise has to end, because Life on Mars is offensive. Dun dun dun. I'm just kidding, it's the 70s, what do you expect? The characters, especially Gene and Ray, are all the isms and phobes, constantly making jokes of every minority. And you know what? It's great. You get to escape from everyone being offended in real life in this show, and you can just laugh at all the jokes and have a great time with these fun characters. The one-liners are so well written and well delivered by the actors, it's impossible not to laugh. But what makes it even better is how the show makes fun of Gene's views in a non-preachy way. Sam calls out Gene and Ray several times, which just enhances the jokes.
The dealers are all so scared we're more likely to get Ellen Keller to talk. The Packy in a coma's about as lively as Liberace's dick when he's looking at a naked woman. All in all, this investigation's going at the speed of a spastic in a magnet factory. What?
I think you might have missed out the Jews.
What?
I think we need to explore whether this attempted murder was a hate crime.
Well, as opposed to one of those I really like you sort of murders.
Life on Mars isn't just a comedy, it's a crime drama after all, so it can't all be fun and games. In this series you will get emotion, action and big decisions that lead to some heartbreaking or heartwarming moments. I don't want to spoil anything major, so I'll just say that you will be emotional in both ways. You'll be happy and sad several times. For me, I get the most emotional when a character is in danger and all seems lost, but others will get emotional when Sam meets his mum at a young age. Life on Mars is simply a masterpiece that I highly recommend you check out. It's got the perfect balance of comedy and gripping drama that cannot be found in many other series. But it can be found in Merlin. Merlin takes a balance of comedy and drama to the extreme, and I mean extreme. For example, you might have one episode of Merlin where the king goes bald, the prince gets donkey ears, and the court physician turns into a goblin. This all happens in one episode. It's bonkers and really funny if you have the mental age of a 4-year-old, so I loved it. But on the other end of this spectrum, you have the drama. Holy moly, it gets crazy. I mean, the reveals, the deaths that take place in Merlin will have you traumatized for life, and Merlin fans, you know what I'm talking about. You know. But let's not spoil anything, so moving on to the ambition and the world building. Wow, the team did such an extraordinary job at considering the BBC budget. Albion feels magical, dangerous and most importantly, lived in. The kingdom of Camelot feels so lively, which helps immerse the viewer into the episode. It makes you feel like you're there, which really helps you connect with the characters and despise the villains. It also sells the big battles. and there are some really big battles. Armies of knights will battle it out several times throughout this series. It's not just mindless fighting, but also the choreography is fantastic. The Knights of Camelot are shown to be extremely skilled with their own unique style. Whenever they fight, they will swap from normal speed to slow motion, which is a choice I'm in love with. Trust me, it's so badass to see your hero destroy his enemies in slow motion with the epic score in the background. I could talk about all day how cool the fight scenes are. Honestly, they're up there with the Star Wars duels, but more realistic and cooler. So let me rephrase that. Merlin fights are better than the lightsaber duels. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about the characters. Merlin and Arthur have the best chemistry. They effortlessly bounce off each other with their funny insults and jokes. All the characters have such great chemistry, everyone's always shipping them. The most popular ship being Merlin and Arthur. But here's what I'm suggesting.
It's okay, when it's in a three-way. It's not gay, when it's in a three-way.
With a honey in the middle, there's some leeway. Oh, and another reason why Merlin's brilliant is that it's made for all audiences. You can enjoy this as a child, a teen, or as an adult. You know what? On October 24th, I would have enjoyed it in all three stages because I've kept on watching Merlin throughout my entire life, which is either really cool or sad. You decide in the comments, please. When I was first introduced to Merlin as a child, I made a huge fuss. I said I didn't want to watch it as Merlin sucks, even though I'd never seen it before. However, halfway through the episode, my eyes were glued to the screen as I simply fell in love with the series then and there. It was when Merlin and Arthur fought in the marketplace I knew Merlin would be something special. My point is that if a stubborn child who apparently hates Merlin can get addicted to it, then so can you. It's clear Merlin took a lot of inspiration from Doctor Who, because that show's for everyone too. Doctor Who is another series I fell in love with as a child. It's been going on for almost 60 years now, with an infinite amount of stories to tell. Doctor Who has recast his main character 13 times now, which has helped the show survive for so long. Recasts usually go down terribly, but people always argue over who the best Doctor is. My personal favourite being the Morbius Doctor. Each writer has a refreshing take on the show, which is a reason why I have stayed on it for so long. Modern Doctor Who has 13 series. Although they are not consistently good as the other shows on this list, when it's good, it's really good. There are several masterpieces Doctor Who has to offer. The ambition and the tight writing lead to a large collection of perfect stories. The Doctor Falls, Blink, Day of the Doctor, Orphan 55 are just a small collection of outstanding episodes that I highly recommend. The creativity it takes to come up with one of these stories is crazy, and I give props to the writers. Speaking of creativity, let's talk about the Doctor's gadgets. The TARDIS, a police box that's bigger on the inside and travels in time. The sonic screwdriver collects data and is very good at opening doors. The new TARDIS in Sonic expressed the atmosphere of the new series, and I love that. The Series 5 TARDIS has a magical glow that I find really nostalgic. And wow, 11 Sonic Screwdriver is amazingly designed. Doctor Who has wonderful gadgets. Let me know which TARDIS is your favourite. My favourite's Matt Smith's or Peter Capaldi's, I can't really decide. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about for Doctor Who is the companions. Again, for each of the shows I've talked about the dynamics of the characters and how much fun they are. Each companion brings new life to the show and relates to the viewer because they are witnessing the Doctor's wild shenanigans. Sometimes the companion is even more important than the Doctor. That's a brilliant message to the millions of viewers and the little children sat at home enjoying Doctor Who. I mean, the show sucks now, but I'm hopeful for the future. Good luck, Shooty. Now for my top 10 TV shows just listed out if you're interested. Number 10, Black Mirror. Number 9, Rick and Morty. Number 8, Luther. Number 7, Sherlock. Number 6, Broadchurch. Number 5, The Boys. Number 4, Ashes to Ashes. And in joint first, a three-way joint first, Life on Mars, Merlin and Doctor Who. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and see you another time.